Hey, folks. If you're here, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning into the replay. It's my Sunday Art Live. And hey, Squeak. Hey, Swifty. I've got a couple of friends here already. So thanks for coming to hang out. It's Sunday. It's a special Sunday. We'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. And I've got my special drawing here for today. To celebrate today, Sunday, November 28th. Golly, where did the month go? It's hard to believe it's the 28th already. Time just flies by. The older I get, the faster it goes. It seems like it should be the other way around. Like when you're younger, it should go faster. It should slow down as you get older, but that's not how it works. It was a good Sunday. I hope you had a good Sunday after this holiday. I was out and about a little bit today. I went for a big walk in the woods with a couple of friends, and man, I couldn't believe the traffic. And it took me a minute. Yeah, the year is almost at an end. You're right. It's the 11th month. It's the end of the 11th month. But I couldn't believe the traffic. And then I remembered it's the end of Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody's going home, traveling. So that explained it. But I was like, why are all these cars on the road? What's happening here? Yeah, everybody's heading home for traveling for Thanksgiving. We stayed home for Thanksgiving this year. What did you do for Thanksgiving this year? Well, this week I've been thinking about some big ideas for my Art of Gratitude book. Like the past couple of days have been some pretty big ideas like spirit, forgiveness. That's an important one. Dreams, always important to hold on to those. And today's compassion. We'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, I hope you've been having a good week. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Did you spend it with some friends? Did you spend it with some family? What did you do? So during this live, I'm going to be doing some drawing and doing some chatting. We can chat in the... Hey, Bill, welcome. Chat in the chat. It's not like chatting in real life, but you know, it's about as close as we're going to get here live on YouTube. Is football still going? I have no idea. I know they play on Sunday nights. So if you're a football fan and you're about to watch some football, thanks for checking in to warm up with me. It's about the antithesis of football right here. So yeah, compassion was today's drawing in my... It's still not quite dry. I don't know if you can see. Still got a little wet ink there. Wet ink, wet paint. And those hearts. So that was today's drawing for the Art of Gratitude. And actually, today is World Compassion Day. Did you know that? World Compassion Day. It started in India, based on the ideas of Gandhi and the Dalai Lama, of nonviolence against other beings, human beings, or any other living creature. And actually, the word compassion means to suffer together. So when you experience compassion, you actually experience the suffering of others. And it's that feeling that motivates us to want to help other people, whether it's feeding them or taking care of children, helping anybody that's suffering. Compassion means suffering with, to feel somebody else's suffering. And there's actually a Buddhist meditation, I believe called Tonglen, where you breathe in the suffering of the world and you breathe out healing. And I think it helps us kind of put our own lives and problems into perspective when we think about all the suffering in the world and the ways that we can help um, alleviate that. Our own problems sometimes seem to shrink a little bit, like maybe that's not so bad. And that kind of perspective is always good. But compassion also helps us connect with other beings, not just human beings, but any suffering. Because, like Buddha said, life is suffering, and it's just a part of it. We can't escape it. We can't get rid of it. We can't make it go away. It's just a part of it. And part of it we bring on ourselves with our expectations, but part of it is just a part of living. It's a part of life. So compassion helps us uh, sort of feel what other people are feeling and not just be in our own head, but share our love and our healing with others. Compassion, really important. And when this dries a little bit more, we can take a look at the rest of my Art of Gratitude book here because it's almost finished. Holy moly. Let's see, I've got my little blotter paper in there because sometimes the ink goes through. 2 more pages. Today is the 28th. We got the 29th and the 30th. I know what I'm going to draw for the 30th, but I haven't decided for the 29th yet. So that one's still up in the air. Sometimes I have a good idea ahead of time what I'm going to draw. And sometimes I just decide on the day. Like today, I learned that it was World Compassion Day. So I was like, that's something really important to draw and be grateful for, that I can uh, feel the suffering of others and help them to. Howdy, Fat Magnet Guy. Glad you're here. Awesome. Let me grab some paper. We can do a little drawing. I've got my little pieces here. I like drawing on these little pieces of paper. Oh, thanks, Bill. He said we're both so talented. You know, I've known since I was a little child that I was meant to be an artist. I've always loved drawing and making things. And like this weekend, I just like making all kinds of things. This weekend, I sewed some curtains for my kitchen. Um, and it's just kind of fun to make stuff. So we've got compassion there. And we've got these groovy glass dip pens, which are so amazingly fun to draw with. It makes such a nice even line. Doesn't matter if you go fast or slow. And this paper isn't the greatest paper for ink. You can see it's bleeding a little bit. Or maybe a lot. But that's okay. That's okay. It's still fun to just draw. It's really interesting to me. I spent most of my life teaching art. Oh, cool, Bill. I work with disabled adults, teaching them different jobs. That was my talent. Hey, it takes a lot of compassion to um, teach others and to help others, especially when they don't have necessarily the same skills that we do. So, yeah, that takes a lot of compassion, Bill. You got that. teaching. Oh, back to teaching drawing though. Um, it's really interesting to me that a lot of people think they can't draw, they're not good at it. But the truth is, drawing is learnable. It's totally learnable. And it's completely enjoyable. Even if you are not good at it, it's still good. It's good for you. It doesn't matter if you just doodle like this. There's really no point in this drawing. Get it? Point. Ah. Uh, but I'm not making, a picture of anything. I'm just doodling. I'm making lines. I'm using colors and doodling, drawing, coloring, even all have incredible mental health benefits. They help us be in the moment. Hey, enjoying your work, Bill, that goes a long way. If you have work that you enjoy doing, as opposed to things that you feel like you just have to do, but your heart's not in it or you don't enjoy it, that's a really tough row to hoe. But back to drawing, coloring, and mental health benefits of such and like in kids. It's really interesting to me that children haven't told themselves yet that they can't draw. So they do. It doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. They just do it because it's a cool thing to do. Um, Picasso said, we're all born artists, but the challenge when you're growing up is to remember how, because we all know how when we're kids. We don't question ourselves when we sit down to draw something or make something. That thinking inner critic part of our brain really isn't developed yet. So it's not telling us, oh, that's really not good. That happens later. And I taught kids from age 3 to age 21. I've taught adults, and I realized that there's a certain point in our lives where we decide we're good at something or we're not good at something. And if we decide that we're not good at it, we're much less willing to try, even. Like, I know I'm not good at that, so I'm not even going to try. I just give up right away. Hey, Squeak, uh, that's the attitude, willing to learn, because it is learnable. Um, but yeah, little kids don't know yet that they're good at it or they're not good at it. They just like doing it. And that's the important part, is just doing it, just drawing or coloring or scribbling or doodling. Do you doodle while you talk on the phone or sit in a meeting? Did you know that scientific studies have shown that while we may think that people who are doodling during a meeting, they're not really paying attention. Actually, they're paying more attention. They process and recall more of what was said and discussed than people who are not doodling during the meeting. Very interesting. It's kind of illogical. We wouldn't think that it would be that way, but the way our brains work maybe isn't always logical. That's a good one, Bill. Just have that image in my mind now. A donkey getting the last gargle out of a bathtub. I gotta hear that now. I just gotta hear it now that you put it that way. There may be some people who think my singing sounds like that too. Hey, Bill, don't let that stop you. Even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, you can just enjoy doing it. You don't have to judge it at all. You don't have to say, oh, that's good or um, I don't like that. If you enjoy doing it, if you just enjoy the act of putting pen to paper and observing something or creating something, that has serious mental health benefits for you. It really, drawing, coloring, doodling, anything like that helps us get out of our thinking inner critic brain and into just being in our body and being in the moment and being present. Um, and in that way, drawing or creating art, even just coloring in a coloring book, is related to meditation and mindfulness because meditation helps us train our brain to stop that inner talking, that inner judge that's going all the time that says, You're not good at that," or "People really don't like you," or "Geez, that was awful." um, and it helps you quiet that down. But some people find meditation challenging. I think a lot of people find meditation challenging. How do you empty your mind? It's really challenging. But um, just drawing or coloring has an amazing way of turning off that thinking part of our brain, that yak 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 that's always going on in there, and just getting us in the moment. And that's really what meditation is. It's not thinking about the past or the future. It's not making a plan for breakfast or lunch. It's not thinking about what I said yesterday that maybe I wish I hadn't said. It's about just being here, right now, being present, paying attention to your breath and your body. Um, and it is so relaxing. And that's why, because it helps turn off that part of our brain that maybe is not so healthy for us. And it just gets us, it helps us be calm. It helps us relax and just be here now, be in the moment instead of being somewhere else in our brain. There are lots of drawing exercises too that you can do to connect drawing with your breath, which is an important part of meditation for some people. But even just drawing, doodling can help calm your mind, calm your body, lower your blood pressure, increase the oxygen in your blood, lower your levels of stress hormones like cortisol. I've been reading about the mental health benefits of art. Can you tell? I'm working on an article for that on my blog. The last one I just did was The Science of Cute. I don't know if you've read that one or not, but there's a whole science behind why we respond to cute things the way we do. And guess what? It has to do with compassion. Kind of all ties together. I'll put a link to my article about the science of cute in the description here when I'm done if you're interested in reading more about that. And I'll include a link to an article I've been reading about the mental health benefits of art. It has links to lots of different articles if you like to read scientific journals and such. Oh, thank you. I'm really glad you like watching me draw. It's really fun sharing it. That's one thing that I really enjoyed about teaching was sitting down with kids and creating with them, being just being present with them. We know a lot of stuff innately that somehow we seem to forget as we age. But kids know. They know how much fun it is to play, how much, uh, how rewarding it is to just sit and draw without any judgment. How fun it is to give somebody a present just for the heck of it because you feel like it. And how to express emotions, which is a really important thing that a lot of us, society kind of teaches us as we grow up not to express our emotions. But it is important for us to be in touch with them. Oh, hey, Squeak, I like that idea a lot. Squeak said I should do a thing for Christmas where I do like the best part of Christmas until the 25th. Yeah, like this month I've done the art of gratitude because Thanksgiving is a holiday I celebrate during this month. And for me, it's all about giving thanks and being grateful. And yeah, so Christmas coming up. Now that Thanksgiving is in our rearview mirror, we can think about the next thing. Christmas. We've got just a couple of days left in November, so it'll be here soon. December. Hmm. The camera's looking a little blurry there. I don't know. Might have gotten some fingerprints on it. But yeah, doodling is super healthy. Who here likes to doodle while you talk on the phone or listen to a lecture, watch a movie? I have to say, when I was teaching, um, I kind of got in trouble for drawing during faculty meetings, but that was the way that I focused and concentrated best. If I just have to sit and listen to someone talk, my mind wanders. Oh, like a dog off a leash, just going. But if I have something to do with my hands, then it's a lot easier for me to listen and pay attention. My mom crochets a lot, and I think for her, that's kind of like doodling is for me, crochet is for her. It's having something to do with your hands and keeping your hands busy and the part of your brain that works with your hands so that you can focus on um, other parts of your brain. And Squeak said, "Hey Karen, do you have a link of the glass pens in every video?" I don't have one in this one yet because I was actually just setting up my studio again right before I went live. I had my studio set up for sewing all weekend, um, so I had to move all my computer stuff off my work table and set up my sewing machine and my cutting and my ironing and all that. And so I haven't put it in there yet, but when we're done here, I will put a link for the glass pens in the description of this video because this set I have really enjoyed with drawing with these so much. I've gotten a lot better about keeping them neat while I'm drawing. I'm not too messy yet. But let me show you what I've got here. I've been drawing with these, I guess, about 2 months, and I've really enjoyed it. There's a set of 12 inks neutrals, and then the whole spectrum of rainbow colors. It came with 2 pens. This is the finer point pen, and then the wide one with the wider nib. A little cup. I've used that for, you can tell it's stained with some black ink. I used some water and some black ink to make gray for the day when I drew in rain. I wanted some gray for the clouds, so I made my own gray. But you can also use just liquid watercolors with these dip pens. These are inks with metallic flake, a little gold glitter. But you can also just use regular liquid watercolors with these. And let's see, is compassion dry yet? Let me have some compassion for my ink. It's taking its time. I think it's dry. This is the worst way to check and see if your ink is dry, to touch it. Could not recommend that. I think it's dry. So yeah, doodling. Oh, yeah, so what's a nib? A nib is the end of your pen. Some pens, like the traditional dip pens that have metal ends, the nibs, you can take the metal tip on and off and put different sizes. But like these glass pens, it's all in one. You can't take this apart. It just is what it is. But there are different kinds of dip pens, and I've really been enjoying these glass dip pens. There's also, there's metal ones, like I said, but really, if we're going back in time, we could talk about quills, feather pens, right? They were the first ones. Uh, and some people still use those. I have cut feathers into quills before, but they're hard to draw with. They're really hard to control. Um, and it kind of blows my mind to think about people writing or drawing with those all the time. It's a whole different skill set. These are really easy compared to that. Hey, sewing. Yeah, actually, um, I, I'm glad you said that, Squeak, because I really enjoy sewing, and I, t- I teach online. I teach art online. That's one thing that I do now just for myself on outschool.com. And mostly what I teach on there are drawing and painting classes, but I'm considering considering teaching some sewing classes too, because sewing's kind of hot right now and I really enjoy it. I've been sewing all my life. My mom taught me to sew when I was a kid because she sewed and I was interested. So first she taught me to hand sew with the needle and do some embroidery. And then she taught me to sew with the sewing machine. And I just have never looked back. I don't really make many clothes anymore. I used to make a lot of clothes. But now I make a lot of other things. Like this weekend, I sewed some curtains for the kitchen. We just had a couple of walls in our kitchen painted, and we put in some new blinds. Swifty put in some new blinds a couple of days ago. Thank you, Swifty. They look great. And so now my contribution is some curtains to go with it to really spruce up our kitchen. Yeah, sewing videos. So, I have to think about that. I really enjoy sewing. It's I think it's super fun to make things that you can use in your life. Like we were Swifty and I were at a show, an art show a couple weeks ago, and the two ladies with the tables across from us did sewing, and they had some really cool eyeglass cases and um, little cute cases for the pocket size Kleenex packs, that you keep in your purse. It keeps the Kleenex clean. What else did they have? Some little zipper pouches. Of course, things for your house, table runners, napkins, um, hot pads, all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, I love making stuff for that you can actually use. Hey, Jerry's here. Pillowcases. Yeah, absolutely. I have a little bit of that fabric left over from the curtains. I've been trying to decide what to do with it. I don't know if I want to make a table runner to go down the middle of my kitchen table to match the curtains. That would be kind of cool. Or do I want to make some pillows for my sofa? I haven't really decided yet, so I just folded my fabric up neatly and put it back in the closet until I decide. I have time until the next time I haul out my sewing machine, so absolutely. So yeah, doodling, drawing, coloring, it's all so good for you. So give yourself permission to doodle, to scribble. Nothing wrong with scribbling. Hey, let me show you one of my uh, favorite ways to scribble. I call it Scribble Doodle. You might remember this. If you're older, you might remember doing this when you're a kid, or if you're a kid, you might remember doing this recently. Let me grab my sketchbook. Scribble Doodle. This was actually the beginning of my research into mental health benefits of art, because I was thinking about doodling and how good it is for you. And people don't really think of it as something productive, but actually it is. Scribble Doodle. Have you ever made one of these? Do you remember making one of these where you just make a big random line all over your paper? It crosses over itself. It goes crazy. It makes all kinds of little interesting shapes that you can then color in. And the nice thing is, it doesn't have to look like anything. So you can suspend judgment. There's no right or wrong. There's no look good, look bad. It's a scribble. You can't do it wrong. Oh, hey, yeah, Swifty, it could be a tattoo. And it, it it's easy to give yourself permission to scribble and then color in. Actually, this is a great way to um, think about, I don't want to say problems, about things you're trying to work out in your brain. It could be a solution to any kind of problem that you're having, whether it's a math problem that you're trying to figure out for school, or it's an astrophysics problem, or it's how you're going to phrase that really difficult thing that you want to say to your friend, but you just can't figure out, you can't parse it. Doing something like this, like a scribble doodle, really helps sort of that back burner part of your brain work on those problems, because you're taking the pressure off. You're not actually thinking about it and worrying about it. Your brain's still working on it subconsciously. You're not aware of it. But while you're doodling, has this ever happened to you? You're doodling, you're drawing, you're doing something, and then uh, the solution that you've been pounding your brain for weeks just pops out. Or like in the middle of the night, you wake up and you're like, well, oh yeah, I could do that. Or why didn't I think of that before? So this is a great way to sort of turn off that conscious part of your brain so that the subconscious part of your brain can do its thing on something else. Ah, stained glass piece. That's a great idea too, Swifty. Yeah, that would be really cool as a stained glass piece. That would be cool. So yeah, scribble doodle. It's a great way to give yourself a brain break, um, where you don't have to really think about anything. You don't have to judge anything. You can just scribble and doodle and give this prefrontal cortex part of your brain a break and let that subconscious part of your brain work for you. Scribble doodle. Oh, hey, cool, Squeak. She says, I was doing something like that, but different shapes with flag colors. Hey, that's really cool. I just pick out a couple of colors to kind of go together. And that sort of makes it easier too, because it turns off that judgment like, oh, that's not going to look good. That's not going to work. After you do your scribble, if you take the time and pick out 5 or 6 colors that you like together, then you can just work with those. And you don't have to think, oh, what I do, I want to use this color. Do I want to use that color? You can just pick one up and do, and pick another one up and do. Um, Doodling and scribbling really is a great tool for calming your brain. If you're ever really upset, scribble doodle. Got a problem you can't figure out the answer to? Scribble Doodle. Listening to a really boring lecture? Scribble Doodle. It comes in handy all kinds of ways. And it doesn't even have to be on a nice piece of paper in a sketchbook. It could be on the back of a receipt while you're talking on the telephone, you know? It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't even have to look good. It doesn't have to be something you're going to keep. You can, when you're done, you can just wad it up and throw it in the trash. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is the process, the moment, being able to just be in the moment while you're doing it. That's the important part. And that's how art really helps us. Just being in that moment without working at it. It's kind of amazing. It just automatically is healthy for our brain. There was a study, I think it was at Stanford, maybe about 5 years ago, where they took a group of people. Some were self identified as artists, and some were strongly self identified as not artists. And they got them to do three different things. Some of them were coloring, some of them were drawing, and some of them were doodling. So, doodling is like scribbling, it's not making any recognizable thing. Like when we think of drawing, we think of, I'm going to draw an ice skate, I'm going to draw a cat, I'm going to draw a car. That's a different process in your brain than scribbling, where you're just moving your hand and not making any judgment. But across the board, whether people were artists or not artists, whether they were coloring or scribbling or drawing or doodling, the researchers found the same mental health benefit: lower cortisol, stress hormone levels, increased relaxation. So you don't even have to be good at it. You just have to do it. But the trick is suspending that judgment, that critical, that inner critic that says, oh, you really stink. I don't know why you're doing this. You shouldn't even be. Go away, inner critic. I'm just spending some time here now being. Um, and in that way, we can have some compassion for ourselves. Also important, right? Having compassion for others is important, but having compassion for ourselves is equally important. And finding ways in our lives to turn off that inner critic, to turn off that negative thing in our mind, is really beneficial. And it turns out that art and drawing are a great way to do that. I am super grateful for that. See how that came full circle on that one? It's good. Hey, let's take a quick trip through the art of gratitude, and then I think I'm going to sign off for the evening. And thanks everybody for stopping in this Sunday evening. I've really enjoyed these 7 o'clock sessions. I hope you have too. So some of the things I'm grateful for: life, the tree of life, sunshine, that super important energy. Super grateful for mushrooms. I saw a couple of different kinds of mushrooms on my hike today. Nothing fresh or recent, but some interesting mushrooms nonetheless. Saw some water today, some flowing water, some big bodies of water. Saw lots of plants, even some that were still green. Definitely saw some mountains. Talked about books. Didn't see any in the woods. Although we did stop by the drop box at the library and drop off some books, so that counts. Haven't had any tea yet today, but I still might. Didn't see any flowers today in the woods. It's past the time for that. Didn't see any rain either. Yeah, Alley Cat, glad you made it for part of this too, and you can always go back and watch the beginning too if you like, since it'll be there. Art, lots of art today. Definitely. Did not see the ocean today. Didn't go that far. Stayed pretty close to home. Just went one county over today, from Nelson to Albemarle. Fresh food. I'm grateful for time. We can have more of everything in our lives, but time is a resource we can't get more of. I could definitely use more cats though. Music, so grateful for music. Meditation. In a way, art is meditation, like we were talking about before. It helps us be in the present instead of our mind wandering all over. Growth and things that are learnable. The moon. Just we just had the full moon not too long ago. And the lunar eclipse, that was really cool. Serendipity. I'm grateful for the seasons. Definitely deep into fall now. Um, Swifty said more cats. Swifty is always lobbying. Can we get another cat? How about this cat? I love this cat. We could use this cat. This cat, we could just add this cat to our family. And I'm always like, I think we've got enough. 4 may be enough. We'll see. Gifts, all kinds of gifts. Gifts that we give each other. Gifts that are present within ourselves. More cats. Yes, more cats. We have 4. Just saying. Laughter. Such a gift. Tools. What would I do without tools? Can't fix things without tools. Hard to make things without tools. Spirit. The thing that connects us all. Forgiveness, really a gift to ourselves, right? Letting go of hurt or feeling like I'm the victim or this thing happened to me. Don't need to feel that way. You can let it all go. Have you read A Course in Miracles? It's really interesting. Dreams and compassion. I agree. 1 or 2 more couldn't hurt. Just got to figure out where to put the litter boxes. More cats is best. So yeah, compassion. We've got 2 more days left in my book here. 29th and 30th. Wow. And then it'll be time to start a new book for December. Yeah, so you'll have to keep an eye out for my giveaway. I'll be giving away this book, The Art of Gratitude, that I've been drawing in all month during December. So that'll be my December giveaway, is my November book. But I'll also be drawing every day during December too. So be sure to check in for that. And thanks everybody for joining me this evening. I'm grateful for you, whether you're here live or you're watching the replay. Thanks for checking in. And I encourage you to doodle this week. I encourage you to scribble this week. I encourage you to draw without judgment and see what it feels like. Let me know if you try it and what you think. And check out the link that I'll leave for that article on mental health benefits of art. I'll add that when we're done here. And the link for the glass dip pens to Squeak. Thanks for reminding me. Bill says we got 3 adult cats, 6 kittens to be adopted out, and 2 strays we're trying to get in the house. Hey, that's awesome, Bill. We have that in common. Cat people. Yay. Yeah. Yeah, it is about to end. I'm about to say bye for the evening. And all that talk of cats just kind of, oh, I know what that reminded me of. Oh, Jerry says he has one, Percy. Sweet. That Bill, that reminded me, the kittens, that reminded me of my favorite joke in the whole entire universe. Want to hear it? Of course you do. Oh, you can't tell me no, even if you don't. So here it comes. What do you call a pile of kittens? A meowton. I never get tired of that one, a meowton. I just have this image in my mind of all these little cute kittens piled on top of each other, all cute on top of cute. That's a good one, isn't it? A meowton. Oh, thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me this evening, friends. And I hope you get a chance to doodle this week. See you soon.